Hi everybody and welcome back to another video on the Toon Review YouTube channel. And this morning, Eddie Howe has been speaking to the media ahead of the big Carabao Cup clash with Crystal Palace, of course, tomorrow night at St James's Park with a kickoff of 7:45. Now, obviously, Newcastle are on a high at the minute, aren't we? We are flying in the league, but a lot of fans still want a cup run. A lot of fans still want the get into Europe and all sorts. And I think Eddie Howe is, not under pressure, but it's a good pressure to have when you're thinking about, the amount of changes that you can make to the team that is playing so well and still have quality to come on. So I think, going through this press conference, Eddie is very aware of what he needs to do. And of course, it's a year. It's Eddie Howe's birthday at Newcastle United, celebrating a year at the club, and what a fantastic 12 months that Eddie Howe has had at St James's Park, by the way. Absolutely immense. This man is a god to us at the minute, and long may that continue. And I said this on the show last night, this guy can become bigger than Keegan. I really do believe that, especially if he wins something. Now, obviously, to start the press conference, he was asked about Callum Wilson, who, of course, went off at half-time in the game against Southampton, but then did come out on social media a little later in the day and say that the illness had caught up with him. So Eddie basically said he's okay. He's been ill for a few days, so he's a little bit run down, but we'll see how he is again today. I don't really expect Callum Wilson to start this game. I fully expect Chris Wood to be the striker for the Palace game. I don't think there's any need to risk Callum Wilson. And look, Chris Wood is going to be on a high. I mean, he scored a very, very good goal, and he's been under a lot of criticism at Newcastle United, including myself. But it was great to see him score, and it was a proper striker's instinct goal. Now, if we can get more of that out of Chris Wood in the games that he plays, and it can only benefit Newcastle United. It really can. So hopefully he can put on a bit of a performance against Palace on Wednesday. I don't expect Callum Wilson. If best, I think Callum will be on the bench. Coming off, feeling a bit run down. Eddie's not going to put him in with Chelsea on Saturday. That is a huge game for Newcastle United. And I really can't see why he would put Wilson in when, Chris Wood scored a goal. He's on a bit of a high. Give him an opportunity. Now, of course, on Kieran Trippier as well, who we all were panicking on just before half-time at St Mary's when he was holding the back of his leg thinking, oh, God, has he pulled a hamstring? Is Kieran Trippier out of the World Cup, etc.? But it's nothing like that. Eddie Howe, very positive on Kieran Trippier as well. There's no problems with Kieran. It always looks more than it is when the physio comes onto the pitch, but he came out second half and he was fine. As I said after the game, it was my decision to take him off. So basically what he's saying there is he's giving Kieran Trippier a rest when he took him off. We were cruising in the game and there's no need, even if he, he's not going to say that he felt a slight twinge or anything like that. He's just going to say, look, my decision to take him off. And I think Eddie will have been thinking along the lines of safety first, cruising through the game. There's no need to keep Kieran on for the 90 minutes with games ahead. Now, do I think he'll start against Crystal Palace on Wednesday? I ain't so sure, guys. I'm not. I mean, Javi Manquillo came on. All right, he wasn't brilliant, was he? But if he's on from the start, I think that might make a difference. So, we could see Manquillo filling it right back on Wednesday. But you never know. I mean, Kieran Trippier he's a workhorse. He goes to war every time he's on the pitch alongside our other defenders. So, he may turn around to Eddie Howe and say, look, I'm fit. I want to play. I want to be involved in all the games. But Eddie Howe has got to make that decision. Javi Manquillo, certainly for me, isn't a bad player. He's had a dodgy game against Southampton when he came on for the brief time he did, but he hasn't played a lot. And I think that's what we're looking at for Wednesday is a lot of these players who are on the fringe of the team to get 90 minutes or get certainly a good amount of minutes on the pitch against Palace on Wednesday, because we do have some very, very good players coming back from injury as well, who will want to be noticed. So good news on Kieran Trippier. On the team selection for Wednesday night, he says, we have a lot of players who are eager to play and show the qualities. We have a tight turnaround with 3 games in 6 days, so we'll try and make the right call for the team while acknowledging that we're desperate to progress. Now, Eddie Howe has spoken many, many times about cup runs with Newcastle United. He wants to win things at Newcastle. So he's not going to put a team out that he thinks isn't strong enough to beat Crystal Palace. He will put that team out. He will have done research. He'll have done the looking up on Crystal Palace, who I expect them to make changes as well, because I said last night on the show that, Palace beating West Ham on Sunday in the Premier League just moves them a little bit away from relegation, and an opportunity for them to maybe rest a couple of players before the game before the World Cup. So that might come into fruition as well. So he's not going to pick a team that he's not going to be confident of that's going to win the game. Now, also on the cup competitions, he says the league form is so important to us as well. But in every competitions we enter, we want to give the best representation of ourselves. I said very early on here that my dream is to try and win something for Newcastle United, and that hasn't changed. So again, as I was saying there, very, very confident that Eddie will pick a decent team, or strong enough to think that they can get past Crystal Palace without the problems that we've had in the cup in previous seasons, of course, especially last season, losing to Burnley on penalties in the Carabao and then going out in the third round to Cambridge in the FA Cup. He will not want that to happen this time around. You are guaranteed. So I'm pretty confident he'll play a strong side. Now, on the sold-out crowd, which is incredible, really, sold out. He says, when you go into a cup draw, the first thing you want is a home tie. We're always so proud to play in front of our own supporters. So when you have a turnaround of 3 games in 6 days, having 2 at home is a big lift for us, which is fantastic, really, isn't it? Because, selling out St James's Park for a Wednesday night Carabao Cup game is quite incredible, and that certainly wouldn't have happened under the previous regime. They probably would have had the upper decks all closed, and it would just be the lower areas that were open, like they've done in the past when we've played early cup rounds. But this is very, very, very different, and people are taking the opportunity now to bring the families to the game, just to show everybody that Newcastle United are a very different animal to what they've used to. I'm taking the kids again on Wednesday night. I can't wait to show them how far we've come, because the last game they were at was Cambridge, and it was just dreadful. And the game before that was Burnley. So there you go. They haven't exactly had a fantastic experience, but this is an opportunity for them now to really see the true Newcastle United and where we are as a club right now. So very, very positive press conference from Eddie. Again, not giving anything away as to the team selection. He's just giving an update on injuries and things like that, and how he feels about playing in front of the home crowd. Now, some other fantastic news as well for Newcastle United is that Garang Kuol has been called up to the Australia squad for the World Cup. So we're going to see him in the World Cup. Bruno's been confirmed in the World Cup, and hopefully more to come. So it's fantastic news for Garang Kuol, of course, who is an absolute sensation. And I can't wait to see him perform in the World Cup. He's probably not a starter by any stretch, but he will come on at some point in substitutions. And to see him running with the ball and having a right go is going to be very, very exciting for us as Newcastle United fans. So there you go. Very brief press conference, but a very decent one again from Eddie Howe. At least we know that it's positive news on Trippier and, of course, Callum Wilson. What team he's going to put out, who knows? Who knows? But if you have enjoyed the video, guys, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, come and join this Toon Review community, building very nicely at the minute. Just hit the subscribe button, which is free to do so. And also that notification bell, which will let you know when we upload or we go live. You can become a member of the Toon Review. Just hit the join button underneath the video and become a member, and in with a chance of winning member prizes on a regular basis. Join us on the social media groups as well. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and of course the Facebook group. Just look for the Toon Review. But if you're watching this on the Tuesday, guys, don't forget tonight 8:30 p.m. we have the fan forum. So we'll be looking back on the fantastic win at Southampton, and obviously building up to the games against Palace, and then the big one on Saturday at home to Chelsea. But let me know in the comments what you thought about the press conference today, guys, and we'll catch you very, very soon. Have a great day. Take care.